The ship was dying. Tolan knew this the moment he saw the warning lights flash across his navigation screen. Red lights everywhere. Red meant bad. Red meant they were running out of time. The Pale Drift had been a good ship once, a cargo vessel built for long journeys between stars. She had carried trade goods across 12 systems without a single problem, but that was before the Keth found them. Tolan remembered the attack. The Keth warship had appeared from nowhere, weapons already firing. Captain Vero had ordered an emergency jump, but the drive was not ready. They jumped anyway. It was that or die. Now they floated somewhere near a small yellow star, and the ship was falling apart around them. "Rena!" Captain Vero called out. His voice was calm, but Tolan could see the fear in his eyes. "Report." Rena crawled out from under a broken console. She was the ship's engineer, and right now she looked like someone who had received very bad news. Her blue skin was covered in dust, and her hands were shaking. "The jump drive is gone," she said. "Not damaged. Gone. The whole thing burned out during the jump." Vero closed his eyes for a moment. "Can you fix it?" "With what?" "We would need a full manufacturing facility. We would need materials we do not have. We would need—" She stopped and shook her head. "No, I cannot fix it." "Life support?" Vero asked. 3 days, maybe 4 if we turn off everything else." Tolan felt cold. 3 days. They had 3 days to live, floating in empty space near a star nobody cared about. "There must be something," Vero said. "Tolan, scan the nearby systems. Find me anything. A station. A colony. A ship. Anything." Tolan turned to his screens and began scanning. Most of the sensors were damaged, but a few still worked. He searched for signs of civilization, for energy signatures, for radio signals. He found something. "Captain," Tolan said slowly, "there is a planet. 3rd from the star. It has life." Vero moved to look at the screen. "What kind of life?" "Intelligent. They have cities, machines, radio signals." Tolan pulled up more information. "The planet is called Earth. The species calls themselves humans." Rena walked over to join them. "Earth? I know that name. It is in the galactic records." She worked at her console for a moment, then made a face. "Oh, no." "What?" Vero demanded. "The record says this species is pre-contact. They have not met other civilizations yet. And the warning says," she read from the screen, "aggressive, territorial, violent, recommend avoiding contact." Tolan felt his hope fade away. Of course. The only planet nearby, and it was filled with dangerous primitives who would probably kill them on sight. Vero stared at the screen for a long time. The warning lights kept flashing. The ship kept dying. Finally, he spoke. "Send a distress signal." Rena's eyes went wide. "Captain, the record says—" "I know what the record says," Vero interrupted. "But we have 3 days of air. We have no jump drive. We have no other options." He looked at his crew. "Maybe they will kill us. But if we do nothing, we die anyway. At least this way there is a chance." Tolan understood. A small chance was better than no chance at all. He prepared the distress signal. It was simple. A request for help, their location, basic information about their ship and species. He transmitted it toward the blue planet and waited. Hours passed. Tolan watched his screens. Rena tried to keep the ship alive. Vero stood at the center of the bridge, waiting. Then the response came. Tolan almost fell out of his chair. "Captain, we have a reply." Everyone gathered around his console. The message was in a strange language, but their translation systems worked quickly. Soon they could understand. "Unknown vessel, this is Earth emergency response. We received your distress signal. Do you require assistance? We are preparing landing coordinates now. Please confirm your crew size and any medical needs. Also, do you have any food allergies?" Tolan read it 3 times. He was sure he had translated it wrong. "They want to help us," Rena said. She sounded confused. "They are asking about food allergies." "It must be a trick," Vero said. "They are trying to learn about us before they attack." "Maybe," Tolan said. "But what choice do we have?" Vero thought about this. The warning lights continued to flash. The ship continued to die. Finally, he nodded. "Reply to them. Tell them we are coming." Tolan sent the message. Within minutes, they received landing coordinates for a place called South Korea. The humans sent detailed instructions for atmospheric entry, complete with weather information and a note that refreshments will be available upon landing. The Pale Drift was not designed for atmospheric entry. She was a cargo ship meant to dock at stations. But Rena worked magic with the remaining systems, and Tolan guided them down through the clouds. The landing was not gentle. The ship hit the ground hard, sliding across a long, flat surface that the humans had prepared for them. Metal screamed. Systems failed. But when everything stopped moving, they were alive. Tolan looked out the damaged viewport. He saw the strangest sight of his life. There were humans standing outside, dozens of them. Some wore uniforms and carried weapons. Those must be soldiers. But in front of them stood a small female human with dark hair, holding some kind of electronic device. She was waving at the ship, not pointing weapons. Waving. "What is she doing?" Rena asked. "I think," Tolan said slowly, "she is greeting us." Vero straightened his uniform. It was torn and dirty, but he was still the captain. "Then let us go meet them. Whatever happens, we face it together." They walked to the airlock. The door was damaged and opened with difficulty. Hot, wet air rushed in, Earth's atmosphere. It smelled strange but not dangerous. Rena stepped out first. She activated her translator and spoke. "We are the crew of the Miroshi vessel Pale Drift. We come in peace. We need help." The small human female smiled widely. She said something, and the translator converted it. "Welcome to Earth. I am Park Jisoo. I am an engineer. I have been looking at your ship, and I have some ideas about repairs. But first, are any of you injured? Do you need water? Are you hungry?" Rena turned to look at Vero and Tolan. Her expression was pure confusion. The galactic record said humans were aggressive and dangerous, but this human was offering them water and asking about their health. Something was very wrong with those records. Or maybe, Tolan thought, something was very right with these humans. Park Jisoo had dreamed of meeting aliens since she was a little girl. She had studied engineering because she wanted to understand how things worked. She had joined the aerospace program because she wanted to reach the stars. And now, standing in front of actual beings from another world, she felt like her whole life had been leading to this moment. The aliens were tall and thin, with blue-gray skin and large dark eyes. They looked tired and scared. Their ship behind them was smoking and broken. These were not invaders. These were survivors. "My name is Rena," said the female alien. Her voice came through a small device that translated her words. "This is Captain Vero and Navigator Tolan. We are from the Miroshi Collective. Our ship was attacked, and we had nowhere else to go." Jisoo nodded. "You are safe here. We want to help." A man in a military uniform stepped forward. His name was Kim Do-hyun, and he was the military liaison for this operation. His job was to keep everyone safe, both the humans and the aliens. "I need to ask some questions," Do-hyun said. His voice was serious but not unfriendly. "Who attacked you? Are they following you? Should we expect more visitors?" Captain Vero straightened his back. Even dirty and exhausted, he carried himself with dignity. "We were attacked by the Keth Dominion. They are raiders and conquerors. They may follow us here. I must be honest with you. By helping us, you may bring danger to your world." Do-hyun thought about this. Then he shrugged. "We have dealt with danger before. Right now, you need help." That comes first. Jisoo watched the aliens exchange confused looks. They clearly did not expect this reaction. She wondered what other species they had met before. "Come," she said. "We have prepared a place for you to rest, and I would like to look at your ship, if you will allow me." They walked across the landing area. More humans had gathered now. Scientists, engineers, medical staff. Everyone wanted to see the visitors from space. But Do-hyun's soldiers kept them back, giving the aliens room to breathe. A woman in a white coat approached them. She had a gentle face and kind eyes. "I am Lee Yuna," she said. "I am a doctor. May I examine you? I want to make sure Earth's air and food will not harm you." Rena looked at her captain. Vero nodded slowly. For the next hour, Yuna checked each alien carefully. She took samples, ran tests, asked questions. The Miroshi were nervous at first, but Yuna's calm manner helped them relax. "Good news," Yuna announced finally. "You can breathe our air safely. Most of our food should be fine for you, but we should avoid some things until we know more." She smiled. "Would you like something to drink?" "Water would be good," Rena said. "Of course. But may I suggest something else first?" Yuna held up a cup filled with dark brown liquid. Steam rose from it, and it had a rich, strange smell. "This is called coffee. Humans drink it to help them stay awake and think clearly. Would you like to try?" Rena looked at the cup suspiciously. Then she took it and sipped. Her eyes went wide. She drank more. Then she looked at Yuna with an expression of pure wonder. "What is this?" Rena asked. This is incredible. I feel awake. I feel alive. My mind is moving so fast." Yuna laughed. "That is the caffeine. It affects your brain. Do you like it?" "Like it?" Rena held the cup close to her chest. "This is the greatest discovery in galactic history." While Rena fell in love with coffee, Jisoo approached Captain Vero. "May I look at your ship?" she asked again. "I want to understand what you need." Vero hesitated. In his experience, letting strangers examine your technology was dangerous. They might steal your secrets. They might find weaknesses to exploit. But these humans had shown only kindness so far. "Very well," he said. "But may I ask, what do you want in return for helping us?" Jisoo looked confused. "What do you mean?" "Everything has a price. You are giving us shelter, food, medical care. What do you expect from us? Technology, information, service?" Jisoo was quiet for a moment. Then Do-hyun spoke up. "You are stranded," he said simply. "Your ship is broken. You have nowhere to go. We help people who need help. That is what we do." Tolan stepped forward. "But we are not your people. We are aliens, strangers. Why would you help us?" Do-hyun smiled slightly. "Because you needed help. That is enough." The Miroshi did not know how to respond to this. In their experience, every species looked out for themselves first. Kindness always came with conditions. Help always had a price. But these humans seemed different. Jisoo spent the next several hours examining the pale drift. She climbed through damaged corridors, studied broken systems, made notes on her tablet. Rena followed her, explaining how things were supposed to work. "Your technology is beautiful," Jisoo said. "Very elegant, very precise." "But?" Rena asked, hearing something in her voice. "But it is also very delicate. Your power systems are efficient, but they have no backup. Your hull is light, but it cannot take much damage." Jisoo tapped a cracked crystal component. "When this breaks, everything fails." Rena nodded sadly. "Miroshi technology values grace and efficiency. We do not build for war or disaster. We thought the galaxy was peaceful. And now you know it is not. Now we know." Jisoo was quiet for a moment, thinking. Then she smiled. Human technology is different. We build things that break, so we build them to be fixed quickly. We expect disaster, so we plan for it. Let me show you what I mean. Over the next few days, Jisoo brought engineers and materials. The humans studied the ship and made plans. They did not try to copy Miroshi technology, they tried to improve it. At night, the Miroshi stayed in comfortable quarters the humans had prepared. They had beds and clean water and all the food they could eat. Rena drank coffee constantly and slept very little. On the third night, Captain Vero found Tolan standing outside, looking up at the stars. "What are you thinking?" Vero asked. "I'm thinking about the galactic records," Tolan said. "They said humans were aggressive and dangerous. They said to avoid this planet. And now?" Tolan was quiet for a long moment. "I think maybe the records were wrong, or maybe they were looking at the wrong things." He turned to face his captain. "These humans are not gentle. I have seen their soldiers. I have seen their weapons. They could hurt us easily if they wanted to. But they choose not to. Yes, they choose to help instead." Tolan looked back at the stars. "I think that makes them more interesting than any species we have ever met." Vero nodded slowly. He was beginning to agree. Inside the building, Rena was on her 8th cup of coffee, teaching Jisoo about Miroshi engineering while Jisoo taught her about human music. They were laughing at something. For the first time since the attack, Vero felt something he had not expected to feel again: hope. 1 week after the crash, the repair work began in earnest. The landing site had transformed into a busy workshop. Humans and Miroshi worked side by side, and the pale drift slowly came back to life. Tolan provided technical documents to the human engineers. He expected them to study the information for weeks, maybe months. Instead, they read everything overnight and arrived the next morning with proposals. The first proposal came from a man named Choi Minho. He was not a scientist or an official engineer. He was what humans called a mechanic, someone who fixed things with their hands. He wore dirty clothes and had grease on his face, but his eyes were sharp and clever. "Your power conduits," Minho said, pointing at a diagram. "They are made of crystal, yes? Very pretty, very efficient, also very broken." Rena nodded. "The crystal matrix shattered during the emergency jump. We cannot repair it without specialized equipment." "Then do not repair it." Minho held up a bundle of thick copper wires. "Use this instead." Rena stared at the wires. They were ugly, rough, primitive. "That is copper, simple copper. It cannot possibly replace our crystal matrix." "Why not?" "Because," Rena struggled to explain, "because it is crude, it is heavy, it is inefficient." Minho shrugged. "Yes, it is all those things, but it works, and when it breaks, I can fix it in 20 minutes with basic tools." He grinned. "Watch." Over the next hour, Minho demonstrated. He removed a section of broken crystal conduit and replaced it with copper wiring. His work was fast and confident. When he finished, he connected the power and stepped back. The system activated. Power flowed through the copper wires exactly as it should. The readings were not as elegant as the crystal matrix, but they were stable, strong, reliable. "Impossible," Rena whispered. "Not impossible," Minho said. "Just different. Your way is beautiful. My way is ugly. But ugly still flies." This became the pattern for all the repairs. The humans did not try to match Miroshi elegance. They replaced it with something else, something rough and heavy and almost brutish. But everything they built worked, and everything they built was hard to break. Jisoo reinforced the hull with titanium plates. The pale drift would never be a graceful ship again, but she could now survive impacts that would have destroyed her before. A woman named Han Sora worked on the navigation systems. She was a programmer, someone who wrote instructions for machines. She studied Tolan's software for 1 day, then rewrote large portions of it. "Your code is very clean," she told Tolan. Very organized. But it is also very rigid. If something unexpected happens, the system does not know how to adapt. Our systems are designed for normal operations, Tolan said. We do not expect unexpected things. Sora laughed. Humans always expect unexpected things. That is how we survive. She showed him her changes. The new code was messier, with many extra functions that seemed unnecessary. But when Sora demonstrated emergency scenarios, the new system handled them beautifully. It adapted. It improvised. It found solutions that the original software never could have imagined. She also added something she called a music player to the navigation console. What is this for? Tolan asked, confused. Long journeys get boring, Sora said. This helps. Tolan played a song. Strange sounds filled the bridge, rhythms and melodies unlike anything in Miroshi culture. He did not understand it, but somehow it made him feel better. The biggest changes came to the weapons systems. The Pale Drift was a cargo ship, not a warship, but she had basic defensive weapons, or she used to, before the Keth destroyed them. Minho looked at the remains of the weapon arrays and shook his head. These are very precise, very focused. They can hit a small target from far away. Yes, Captain Vero said. Miroshi weapons are designed for accuracy. But what if you miss? Minho asked. What if there are many enemies? What if you need to hit something big? Vero did not have good answers to these questions. Let me show you human weapons, Minho said. He brought designs for something he called kinetic cannons. They were simple devices that threw pieces of metal very fast. No elegant energy beams, no precise targeting. Just chunks of steel moving at incredible speeds. This is primitive, Vero said. This is barely technology. This is effective, Minho replied. These cannons do not need much power. They do not break easily. They do not care about shields or armor. They just punch holes in things. He installed 2 of these cannons on the Pale Drift. They were ugly additions to the ship's hull, but when Minho demonstrated them on a target, Vero understood. The kinetic cannon tore the target apart, not with elegance, not with precision, just with raw, brutal force. Why? Rena asked one evening, sitting with Jisoo and drinking coffee. Why is human technology like this? So strong, so angry? Jisoo thought about the question. Because of our world, she said finally. Earth is dangerous. We have earthquakes and storms and volcanoes. We have animals that want to eat us. We have diseases that want to kill us, and... She paused. We have each other. What do you mean? Humans fight. We always have. We fight over land and resources and ideas. We build weapons to use against each other. Jisoo looked sad for a moment. It is not something we are proud of, but it made us strong. Our machines had to survive war. Our technology had to work even when everything was trying to destroy it. Rena understood now. The Miroshi had evolved on a peaceful world. They had never needed to be strong because nothing had ever threatened them. Their technology reflected their gentle history. Human technology reflected something very different. That is terrifying, Rena said. Yes, Jisoo agreed, but also comforting in a strange way. Jisoo smiled. Yes, that too. By the end of the second week, the Pale Drift was transformed. She looked different now, heavier, rougher, covered in metal plates and strange additions. She was no longer a beautiful Miroshi cargo ship. She was something new, something hybrid. She was also, for the first time in her existence, ready for a real fight. Captain Vero stood in front of his repaired ship and did not know what to feel. Pride, gratitude, shame that his ship needed so much help. Minho came to stand beside him. She is ugly now, the mechanic said cheerfully, but she will not die easily. No, Vero agreed. She will not. That is the human way, Minho said. We make things that survive, no matter what, no matter how. Vero looked at the human, this strange, dirty, brilliant creature who had rebuilt his ship with copper and steel and determination. "Thank you," Vero said. Minho shrugged. "You are welcome. Now let us hope you never need to use those cannons." But Tolan, watching from the bridge, had a feeling that hope would not be enough. The Keth were still out there, and they did not forget their prey. The warning came at midnight. Tolan was asleep in his quarters when his communicator screamed. He jumped out of bed and ran to the bridge, where he found Jisoo and Do-Yun already staring at screens. "What is happening?" Tolan asked. Jisoo pointed at a display. "Something just entered your solar system. Something big." Tolan looked at the readings and felt his blood turn cold. He knew that energy signature. He had seen it before, right before his ship was nearly destroyed. "Keth," he whispered. "They found us?" Within the hour, everyone had gathered in the command center. Captain Vero, Rena, the human leaders, they all stood around a large table, watching displays that showed the approaching ship. "One warship," Do-Yun reported. "The Crimson Blade, according to your records. It is heading toward Earth at high speed." Vero's face was pale. "We must leave. We cannot let them attack your world because of us." "Leave in what?" Jisoo asked. "The Pale Drift can fly now, but she cannot outrun a Keth warship. They would catch you before you left orbit." "Then we will surrender. If we give ourselves up, maybe they will leave Earth alone." A new voice spoke. "No." Everyone turned. A man had entered the command center. He wore a military uniform covered in medals, and he carried himself with absolute authority. This was Admiral Kwon Tae-hyung, commander of the Korean naval forces. "No one is surrendering," Kwon said. "Not on my watch." "Admiral," Vero said carefully, "you do not understand. The Keth are conquerors. They have destroyed civilizations. They have weapons that your world cannot match. If you fight them, they will kill millions of your people." Kwon nodded calmly. "I understand perfectly, but I have already spoken with the other world leaders. We have made our decision." "What decision?" "You are under our protection now. The Keth can ask nicely for you to leave. If they threaten us," Kwon smiled slightly, "they will regret it." Before Vero could respond, the communication system activated. A harsh voice filled the room. "Attention, primitive world. I am Commander Bale of the Keth Dominion. You are harboring criminals who belong to us. You have 1 hour to surrender them, or we will demonstrate what happens to those who defy the Dominion." The message ended. Silence filled the room. Rena was shaking. "He will destroy your cities. He has done it before. The Keth do not make empty threats." "Neither do we," Kwon said. He walked to the communication console and opened a channel to the Keth ship. His voice was calm and steady, like a man discussing the weather. "Commander Bael, this is Admiral Kwon Tae-hyung of Earth. The Miroshi crew is under our protection. They will not be surrendered. I suggest you leave our system peacefully." Bale's laughter came through the speakers. "Protection? From what? Your primitive rockets? Your chemical weapons? You are children playing with toys. You do not even have faster-than-light travel." "True," Kwon admitted. "We are new to space, but we are not children, and we do not play." "You bore me, human. Here is my response." The displays showed the Keth ship firing. Missiles streaked toward Earth, aimed at Seoul. Millions of people, countless lives, about to be destroyed in an instant. Rena screamed. Tolan grabbed the edge of the table. Vero closed his eyes, waiting for the end. But Kwon just watched the screens calmly. The missiles flew closer and closer, and then they exploded. All of them. Bright flashes in the upper atmosphere as every single Keth weapon was destroyed before it could reach its target. "What?" Bael's voice was no longer laughing. What happened? Quan leaned toward the microphone. That was our missile defense system. We built it to protect ourselves from each other. Nuclear weapons, you see. We have thousands of them. We needed ways to stop them. He paused. Your missiles are actually easier to intercept than ours. Slower. Impossible. Your technology cannot... Commander, we have been preparing to destroy ourselves for almost a century. We have weapons you cannot imagine and defenses to match. You caught us by surprise with nothing but a cargo ship and some angry words. Quan's voice hardened. Do you really want to see what we can do when we are ready for you? Silence from the Keth ship. Tolan stared at the humans around him. They were not afraid. They were not panicking. They looked determined, ready, like they had been waiting for this moment their whole lives. Do-Yun spoke quietly to Rena. During our history, we have had many wars. Countries against countries. We built weapons to destroy each other, missiles that could end civilization, and then we built defenses against those missiles, layer after layer, system after system. You prepared for your own destruction, Rena said. Yes, and now we are using those preparations to protect you. Bael's voice returned, colder now. Very well, humans. You have surprised me. But one warship was merely a scout. The Dominion has many more. When they arrive, your defenses will mean nothing. Maybe, Quan said. But I have a question for you first. What? How many warships do you think Earth has? Bael laughed again, but there was uncertainty in it now. You have no warships. You have no space fleet. You are bound to your single planet. Quan smiled. It was not a friendly smile. Currently, yes. We have one ship capable of space combat, the Pale Drift, which we have repaired and upgraded. But we are working on more. You cannot build a fleet in time to matter. Commander, you do not understand humans. When we decide to do something, we do it fast. Your attack on our city just united the entire planet against you. Every nation, every military, every resource, all focused on one goal. Quan leaned closer to the microphone. You should have left when I gave you the chance. Now you have made us angry. The channel closed. Bael did not respond. In the command center, people began moving with purpose. Orders were given. Plans were made. The entire world was preparing for war. Vero stood in the middle of it all, overwhelmed. This is madness, he said. You cannot fight the Keth Dominion. They have conquered dozens of worlds. Jisoo stopped beside him. Maybe, but they have never fought humans before. What makes you think you can win? Jisoo thought about the question. Do you know why human technology is so strong? Why we build things that refuse to break? Because your world is dangerous, Vero said. You told me this. That is part of it, but there is something else. Jisoo looked at him with fierce eyes. We are stubborn. When something tries to kill us, we do not accept it. We fight back, we survive, we get stronger, and then we make sure it never happens again. She walked away to join the other engineers. They were already discussing how to build more ships, more weapons, more defenses. Rena found Tolan standing by a window, looking up at the sky where the Keth ship waited. They are insane, Tolan said. The humans. They are completely insane. Yes, Rena agreed. She was holding a cup of coffee, her hands steady. But I am beginning to think that is a good thing. In orbit, Commander Bael looked at his tactical displays and felt something he had never felt before in his career of conquest. Doubt. These humans should be afraid. They should be begging for mercy. Instead, they had swatted his missiles like insects and threatened him with weapons he could not understand. He sent a message to the Dominion fleet. Send reinforcements. This planet is more dangerous than we expected. Then he waited, watching the small blue world below. Something was happening down there. Something that would change everything. 1 month passed. The Keth reinforcements arrived. 3 more warships, each one larger than the Crimson Blade. Commander Bael watched them take position around Earth and felt confident again. 4 warships against 1 primitive planet. This would be easy. He opened a channel to Earth. Humans, your time is up. Surrender the Miroshi and submit to Dominion rule, or we will burn your cities one by one. You cannot stop all of us. Admiral Kwan's voice replied. Commander, I suggest you look at your sensors. Bael frowned and checked his displays. Then his eyes went wide. Ships were rising from Earth, dozens of them. They were ugly, misshapen things, clearly built in a hurry with whatever materials were available. They did not look like proper warships. They looked like ocean vessels that someone had strapped rockets to, because that was exactly what they were. Bael stared at his screens. This is impossible. You did not have these ships 1 month ago. We did not need them 1 month ago, Kwan replied. You changed that. In the command center of the flagship, a converted aircraft carrier, now called the Iron Will, Jisoo stood beside Admiral Kwan. She watched the displays with pride and terror. In 30 days, humanity had done the impossible. They had taken naval vessels, aircraft, even cargo ships, and transformed them into a space fleet. The work had been brutal. Engineers had worked without sleep. Factories had run day and night. Nations that had been enemies for decades had shared technology and resources, all because the Keth had threatened them. The fleet is ready, Admiral, Do-hyun reported. 17 ships total, plus the Pale Drift, every one of them armed with kinetic cannons and nuclear missiles. Nuclear? Vero asked. He was standing nearby with his crew. They had insisted on joining the fight. You are using nuclear weapons in space? We have many, Kwan said simply. Might as well use them on someone who deserves it. The Keth fleet began moving into attack formation. Bael's voice came over the communication system. You think your crude ships can challenge the Dominion? We have conquered species far more advanced than you. Maybe, Kwan said, but you have not conquered us yet. The battle began. Keth energy weapons fired first, bright beams of light that could cut through Miroshi crystal like paper. They struck the human ships, and the human ships survived. The titanium armor plates absorbed the energy, glowing red but holding together. The ships were damaged but not destroyed. What? Bael shouted. Those hits should have killed them. The human ships fired back. Kinetic cannons launched chunks of metal at incredible speeds. Nuclear missiles streaked toward the Keth warships. The Keth had shields, but the shields were designed to stop energy weapons, not physical objects. The metal chunks punched through, tearing holes in hulls. The nuclear missiles hit moments later. One Keth ship exploded in a ball of fire, then another. The remaining 2 tried to retreat, but the human fleet pursued them. On the bridge of the Pale Drift, Captain Vero commanded his upgraded ship. Rena sat at the engineering station, Tolan at navigation. Human crew members worked alongside them. Minho keeping the engines running. Sora managing the computer systems. Target the lead ship's engines, Vero ordered. The Pale Drift's new weapons fired. Human kinetic cannons tore into the Keth vessel's propulsion systems. The enemy ship slowed, crippled, but not dead. Bael's ship is trying to escape, Tolan reported. He is activating his jump drive. Not today, Minho said. He did something at his console, and the Pale Drift lurched forward. What are you doing? Vero demanded. Getting closer. Minho grinned. Our cannons work better at short range. They flew straight at the Crimson Blade, taking fire the whole way. The hull shook. Systems screamed warnings. But the human upgraded armor held. At close range, they fired everything. Kinetic rounds ripped through Bael's ship. The jump drive exploded. The weapons array went dark. The Crimson Blade was dead in space. Around them, the battle was ending. Human ships surrounded the last functioning Keth vessel. It was damaged, outnumbered, and had nowhere to run. Bale's voice came over the communication system. He sounded broken. "What are you? What species fights like this? You threw yourselves at us without hesitation. Some of your ships were destroyed, and the others kept coming. That is not rational. That is not sane." Admiral Kwan answered. "We are human. We protect our friends. And when someone threatens us, we do not stop fighting until the threat is gone." "This is madness." "Yes," Kwan agreed. "It is, but it works." The surviving Keth ship surrendered. Commander Bael was taken prisoner. The battle was over. Humanity had won. In the aftermath, the cost became clear. 3 human ships were destroyed. Hundreds of people had died. But the Keth fleet, 4 warships of a galactic conquering power, had been defeated by a species that had never been to space before. The news spread across the galaxy. The Miroshi Collective sent messages of congratulation and offers of alliance. Other species, ones who had lived in fear of the Keth for centuries, began reaching out. Earth was no longer an unknown primitive world. Earth was now something else entirely. Earth was dangerous. Captain Vero stood on a balcony in Seoul, looking up at the sky. The battle had been won, but he knew this was just the beginning. The Keth dominion was vast. They would send more ships. The war was not over. Rena joined him, holding 2 cups of coffee. She handed him one. "The collective has asked me to stay on Earth," she said, "as a liaison, to help build the alliance." "And you said yes?" "I did," she smiled. "I like these humans. They are terrifying, but they are also kind. That is a rare combination in the galaxy." Vero sipped the coffee. He had developed a taste for it. "What happens now?" "Now we prepare. The Dominion will come back, but next time, humanity will be ready, and next time, they will not be alone." Rena looked at him. "The collective is sending ships. Other species are joining too. Earth has given the galaxy something it did not have before." "What is that?" "Hope. Hope that the Keth can be defeated. Hope that the strong do not always win." She gestured at the city around them. These humans looked at an impossible enemy and said no. They refused to be afraid. And now everyone who has ever been hurt by the Dominion is watching them and thinking, "Maybe we can do that too." Tolan found them on the balcony. He had news. "Commander Bael has been talking. He says the Dominion will send 100 ships, 1,000, however many it takes to destroy Earth." "Let them come," Vero said quietly. Tolan looked at his captain in surprise. "I have watched these humans," Vero explained. "I have seen what they can do. In 1 month, they built a space fleet from nothing. In 1 battle, they destroyed 4 warships with weapons made of copper and steel. They do not know how to give up. They do not know how to surrender." He finished his coffee. "The Dominion thinks they are coming to conquer a primitive world. They are wrong. They are coming to start a war they cannot win." Below them, the city was rebuilding. Humans worked together, clearing damage, fixing what was broken. They had lost people in the battle, but they were not mourning. They were preparing, building more ships, training more crews, getting ready for the next fight. Rena pulled out her communicator and began writing something. "What are you doing?" Tolan asked. "Writing my report to the collective, my final assessment of humanity." "What are you saying?" Rena smiled. "I am saying, these beings are stubborn, violent, and completely insane. Do not fight them. Do not threaten them. And if you are very lucky, make them your friends." Then I am adding, "Also bring them coffee. They like coffee." Tolan laughed. It felt strange to laugh after everything that had happened, but it also felt right. Far above Earth, the debris of the Keth fleet drifted in orbit, a warning to anyone else who might think this small blue planet was easy prey. The humans had a message for the galaxy now. It was simple. It was clear. We will protect our friends. We will fight for what is right. And if you come for us, we will bring upgrades. Come and try us.